Hey there, welcome to another episode of Blake's Everyday Podcast. Last night we finished at the end of chapter 31 of Exodus, and today we are starting off at chapter 32. We are finally to the golden calf. Now I've talked to some people about this, the whole golden calf and stuff, because well, we made it through I don't know. I was gonna say I think we made it through all of the somewhat boring stuff, but it's the Bible. Nothing about the Bible is boring, but at the same time, it has its moments where you can be reading something and you're like, oh man, I need to go to bed. But I'm going to try to make this episode somewhat short tonight because I'm going to actually try to hit the gym after this. If I hit the gym, it'd be the first time in a good minute that I've gone to the gym. And your boy is looking and feeling a little husky. And the diet isn't cutting it anymore. And by diet, I basically mean chewing tobacco and alcohol. So I need to replace it with an actual diet and an actual diet and exercise. And my wife was talking to me about it tonight. I kind of got upset with her because, when I don't know, for all these years, when I was younger, I was exercising all the time. I was going to the gym constantly until basically I met her. And then I gained some weight, and then I lost a lot of weight because I was working outdoors and I got down really low. I was looking really, really thin there. But now, it's gained some weight, especially since working remotely. In fact, I'm sitting at my desk right now. But yeah, one of these days I'm gonna give you guys a grand tour. This is my man cave / office, but it won't happen tonight. We're gonna go ahead and start at chapter 32, which the title of chapter 32 is The Golden Calf. All right. When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, "Come make us gods who will go before us. As for this fellow, Moses, who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him." Aaron answered them, "Take off the gold earrings that your wives, your sons, and your daughters are wearing and bring them to me." So all the people took off their earrings and brought them to Aaron. He took what they handed him and made it into an idol cast in the shape of a calf, fashioning it with a tool. Then they said, "These are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar in front of the calf and announced, "Tomorrow there will be a festival to the Lord." So the next day, the people rose early and sacrificed burnt offerings and presented fellowship offerings. Oh my gosh. That's bad. Afterward, they sat down to eat and drink and got up to indulge in revelry. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go down, because your people, whom you brought up out of Egypt, have become corrupt. They have been quick to turn away from what I commanded them, and have made themselves an idol cast in the shape of a calf. They have bowed down to it and sacrificed to it, and have said, These are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. I have seen these people, the Lord said to Moses, and they are a stiff-necked people. Now leave me alone so that my anger may burn against them, and that I may destroy them. Then I will make you into a great nation. But Moses sought the favor of the Lord, his God. Lord, he said, why should your anger burn against your people, whom you brought out of Egypt with great power and a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians say, it was with evil intent that he brought them out, to kill them in the mountains and to wipe them off the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce anger, relent, and do not bring disaster on your people. Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, to whom you swore by your own self, I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give your descendants all this land I promised them, and it will be their inheritance forever. Then the Lord relented and did not bring on his people the disaster he had threatened. Moses turned and went down the mountain with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands. They were inscribed on both sides, front and back. The tablets were the work of God. The writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. When Joshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said, Moses, there is the sound of war in the camp. Moses replied, it is not the sound of victory. It is not the sound of defeat. It is the sound of singing that I hear. When Moses approached the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, his anger burned, and he threw the tablets out of his hands, breaking them to pieces at the foot of the mountain. And he took the calf the people had made and burned it in the fire. Then he ground it to powder, scattered it on the ground, scattered it on the water, and made the Israelites drink it. He said to Aaron, what did these people do to you that led them into such great sin? Do not be angry, my lord, Aaron answered. You know how prone these people are to evil. They said to me, make us gods who will go before us. As for his fellow Moses, who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what happened to him. So I told them, whoever has any gold jewelry, take it off. And then they gave me the gold, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf. Moses saw that the people were running wild, and that Aaron had let them get out of control, and so become a laughing stock to their enemies. So he stood at the entrance to the camp and said, whoever is for the Lord, come to me. And all the Levites rallied to him. Then he said to them, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each man strap a sword to his side. Go back and forth through the camp from one end to the other, each killing his brother and friend and neighbor. The Levites did as Moses commanded. And that day, about 3,000 of the people died. Then Moses said, you have been set apart to the Lord today. For you were against your own sons and brothers, and he has blessed you this day. The next day Moses said to the people, you have committed a great sin. You have committed a great sin, but now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I can make the atonement for your sin. So Moses went back to the Lord and said, oh, what a great sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of gold. But now please forgive their sin, but if not, then blot me out of the book you have written. The Lord replied to Moses, whoever has sinned against me, I will not blot out of my book. Now go lead the people to the place I spoke of, and my angel will go before you. However, when the time comes for me to punish, I will punish them for their sin. And the Lord struck the people with a plague because of what they did with the calf Aaron had made. Wow. So, I mean, Yeah, I mean, that's a wild chapter. Um, it lived up to expectations. I will say that. So, chapter 32, verses 1 through 20. Israel shattered the second commandment by making the golden calf. God had clearly said, "You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below." Weakened Aaron, weak, weak-kneed Aaron tried to put a good face on this blasphemy, but to no avail. The people's behavior represented a wholesale turning from their previously professed faith and commitment to God. This incident contains a warning to those who believe they have progressed so far spiritually that they are immune to failure. No matter how far we have come, we are all prone to the danger of a downfall, especially if we are consumed with pride. I like that description. Yeah, I mean, it's just as it's the downfall. Will always it'll always be harder to climb back up. I don't know. It's at least that's the way I've always looked at things. Almost like my weight problem, right? I mean, I'm not like huge. I'm not like ginormous. But over the years, I've dieted so many times, and I've constantly fallen down afterwards. I haven't consistently held on to that weight, right? So now taking off that weight isn't just going to come off from dieting. It's going to come from dieting and exercise, and really sticking with a regimen. Especially with my age. I'm 29, not getting any younger, and it's hard to. I'm over here like this, and it's like kind of funny because you see these professional athletes playing till they're 40, and it's like, man, I'm so sore. I'm not sore. Well, I'm just like, I don't know. My body definitely feels the effects of my earlier years, I guess. But what I was saying though is, you get to a point where, yeah, it's so awesome getting up there, and then something like a downfall, or a drug addict. Let's say a drug addict. I mean, the relapse is so much heavier, than when they first started getting into drugs. And I don't know. I don't know if any of this makes any sense. And I will just quit with my rambling because none of it probably really makes sense. It's making sense in my head, but I don't know what anybody else is thinking, so. All right. Chapter 32, verses 21 through 29. Aaron reveals himself to be a people pleaser. He caved into the idolatrous desires of the Israelites in order to avoid confronting them with the sin in their lives. He also displayed a lack of honesty and an unwillingness to face the reality of his actions. To avoid his accountability to God and Moses, he made a far-fetched excuse for his behavior. The consequences of Aaron's failure were terrible, reaching far beyond his personal reprimand. Let us learn from Aaron's mistakes. We must defend and live out God's plan, even when it is unpopular with the crowd. If we don't, the consequences for us and the people around us could be terrible. Again, another great description. chapter 32, verses 30 through 35. In the wake of Israel's horrible idolatry, Moses took on the role of a loving father toward them and seeking atonement and forgiveness for the people's sins. Moses asked God to hold back the terrible consequences. He even suggested that he take the punishment upon himself. It is difficult for many parents and leaders to see that some under their charge must learn responsibility by facing the full consequences of their wrong choices. In this case, God required that these disobedient people suffer the ultimate consequence, death. Dang. All right, so we are going to move on to chapter 33. I'm going to take a quick sip of my soda real quick. All right. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Leave this place, you and the people you brought up out of Egypt, and go up to the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I will send an angel before you and drive out the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Go up to the land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go with you, because you are a stiff-necked people, that I might destroy you on the way." When the people heard these distressing words, they began to mourn, and no one put on any ornaments. For the Lord had said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, you are a stiff-necked people. If I were to go with you, even for a moment, I might destroy you. Now take off your ornaments, and I will decide what to do with you." So the Israelites stripped off their ornaments at Mount Horeb. Now Moses used to take a tent. I'm so sorry. Now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away, calling it the tent of meeting. Anyone inquiring of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. And whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrances to their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance while the Lord spoke with Moses. Whenever the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance to the tent, they all stood and worshipped, each at the entrance to their tent. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide, Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. Moses said to the Lord, "You have been telling me, lead these people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You have said, I know you by name, and you have found favor with me. If you are pleased with me, teach me your way, so I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people." The Lord replied, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Then Moses said to him, "If your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. How will anyone know that you are pleased with me and with your people unless you go with us? What else will distinguish me and your people from all the other people on the face of the earth?" And the Lord said to Moses, "I will do the very thing you have asked, because I am pleased with you, and I know you by name." Then Moses said, "Now show me your glory." And the Lord said, "I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." But he said, "You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live." Then the Lord said, "There is a place near me where you may stand on a rock. When my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft in the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen. Wow. Okay. So you cannot see God's face and live. That's interesting. God's statement. Okay, so chapter 33, verses 1 through 6. God's statement to Moses and the people's response to it are instructive. God reassured Israel that he would stand by his covenant commitments. He would give them the promised land and protect them through the time of their restoration. However, God became so angry with Israel due to their stubborn disobedience that he was forced to back away so as not to destroy them. After God had expressed his anger with self-control, the people underwent a heart-wrenching self-examination, seeking the truth, confessing their sins, truly mourning and repenting before God. Even when we have failed miserably, we can be assured that God's promises of reconciliation will stand. All we need to do is go to God openly with our sins, seeking his help to find a new way of life. I like that. Chapter 33, verses 12 through 23. When Moses asked to see God's glory, he was not seeking to glorify himself. It is important for all of us to have a clear vision of God. As we see him more clearly, we better understand who we are, strengths and limitations. This scene shows Moses growing spiritually in a remarkable way. All of us should seek to know God better and to experience his presence in our lives. All right. Now, we are on to chapter 34. I guess we're probably going to make it to chapter 35, and we're probably going to call it. Yeah. But, hey, we read a lot yesterday, so today's nice and... Oh, man. Yeah. Let me take another sip of soda real quick. All right. So the title for chapter 34 is The New Stone Tablets. The Lord said to Moses, "Chisel you 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and I will write on them the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. Be ready in the morning, and then come up on Mount Sinai. Present yourself to me there on top of the mountain. No one is to come with you or be seen anywhere on the mountain. Not even the flocks and herds may graze in front of the mountain." So Moses chiseled out 2 stone tablets like the first ones and went up Mount Sinai early in the morning as the Lord had commanded him. And he carried the 2 stone tablets in his hands. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and stood there with him and proclaimed his name, the Lord. And he passed in front of Moses, proclaiming, the Lord, the compassionate and gracious Lord, God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness, maintaining love to thousands and forgiving wickedness, rebellion and sin, yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children and their children for the sin of the parents to the 3rd and 4th generation. Wow. Moses bowed down to the ground at once and worshipped. Lord, he said, if I have found favor in your eyes, then let the Lord go with us. Although this is a stiff-necked people, forgive our wickedness and our sin, and take us as our inheritance. Then the Lord said, I am making a covenant with you. Before all your people, I will do wonders never before done in any nation in all the world. The people you live among will see how awesome is the work that I, the Lord, will do for you. Obey what I command you today. I will drive out before you the Amorites, Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Be careful not to make a treaty with those who live in the land where you are going, or they will be a snare among you. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and cut down their Asherah poles. Do not worship any other god, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Be careful not to make a treaty with those who live in the land, for when they prostitute themselves to their gods and sacrifice to them, they will invite you, and you will eat their sacrifices. And when you choose some of their daughters and as wives for your sons, and those daughters prostitute themselves to their gods, they will lead your sons to do the same. Do not make any idols. Celebrate the festival of unleavened bread. For 7 days eat bread made without yeast, as I commanded you. Do this at the appointed time in the month of Aviv. For in that month you came out of Egypt. The first offspring of every womb belongs to me, including all the firstborn males of your livestock, whether from herd or flock. Redeem the firstborn donkey with a lamb, but if you do not redeem it, break its neck. Redeem all your firstborn sons. No one is to appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you shall labor, but on the 7th day you shall rest. Even during the plowing season and harvest you must rest. Celebrate the festival of weeks with the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and the festival of in gathering at the turn of the year. 3 times a year all your men are to appear before the sovereign Lord, the God of Israel. I will drive out nations before you and enlarge your territory, and no one will covet your land when you go up 3 times each year to appear before the Lord your God. Do not offer the blood of a sacrifice to me along with anything containing yeast, and do not let any of the sacrifice from the Passover festival remain until morning. Bring the best of the first fruits of your soil to the house of the Lord your God. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. Then the Lord said to Moses, write down these words, for in accordance with these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. Moses was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights, without eating bread or drinking water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant and the 10 commandments. Wow. 40 days and 40 nights without bread or water. That's crazy. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands, he was not aware that his face was radiant before he had spoken with the Lord. When Aaron and all the Israelites saw Moses, his face was radiant, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them. So Aaron and all the leaders of the community came back to him, and he spoke to them. Afterward, all the Israelites came near him, and he gave them all the commands the Lord had given him on Mount Sinai. When Moses finished speaking to them, he put a veil over his face, but whenever he entered the Lord's presence to speak with him, he removed the veil until he came out. And when he came out and told the Israelites what he had been commanded, they saw that his face was radiant. Then Moses would put the veil back over his face until he went in to speak with the Lord. Okay. So, we have a few descriptions here. So chapter 34, verses 1 through 4. In spite of the horrible sin that the people of Israel had committed in building the golden calf, God was willing to give them another chance to commit themselves to him and obey his covenant. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai the first time, he smashed the tablets inscribed with the 10 Commandments. Now God displayed his great and undeserved grace by rewriting the 10 Commandments. The tablets for by rewriting the tablets for his people. Our sins can never be so great that God's forgiveness becomes impossible. Chapter 34, verses 5 through 7. When God announced the meaning of his name to Moses, he was explaining who he was. In ancient cultures, the meaning of a person's name was understood to be a window into his or her character, not just a surface title. As we seek God and surrender to him, it is important that we get to know God's character. He is compassionate, gracious, patient, loving, trustworthy, forgiving, and just. Absolutely. Chapter 34, verses 29 through 35. Moses' experience in God's presence was a transforming one. God's holy presence was so radiant that it caused Moses' face to glow. The physical glow on his face was only part of the result of drawing so close to God. This experience gave Moses the faith he needed to continue leading the Israelites through the wilderness. Drawing close to God should also provide us with the strength we need to make it through our wilderness experiences. All right. Bam. All right, so tomorrow we are going to start at chapter 35. Right? Am I right? Yeah. Just to make sure. I just need to double check real quick. Uh-oh. Oh, make sure I bookmarked it. Yeah, 35, which goes to show you we didn't make it very far, but we're making moves, we're making strides. And I mean, we're almost done with Exodus already, which is great. I mean, this is my 30th video on YouTube. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was looking at that a little bit earlier. I don't know, 30 videos. That's pretty crazy. And I know, this is more for my look back on and stuff. And it's so cool that there's some people that actually are watching and stuff and, reading with me. And I find it very cool. So thank you for watching these videos. Let's go ahead and say a prayer. Dear God, we come before you today and just want to love you, Lord. We are so gracious that you've given us these opportunities and put this path in front of us and kept our families healthy and happy. I mean, we know what your hand can do, Lord. We know that it can bring on plagues, and we're so grateful that you haven't. For we know the world is wicked, but we are learning in your grace, and we want to continue to learn and grow with you, Lord. And we just are so blessed, and we thank you for everything that you've given us in our lives, and in God's name, amen. Wow, I thought I was facing the camera. I was completely over here. Got into it. No, I hope everybody has a great night. It was Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday, which is crazy. I mean, I feel like it was just Thursday like yesterday. So time just flies by, just continues to go flying by. But I hope everybody has a great night. Have a great Thursday. I will talk to you tomorrow. Make a video tomorrow. And yeah, just enjoy your sleep. Thank you. Good night.